Hey, brothers and sisters, I just want to give you all a video today about resiliency, about grit, about endurance, about long suffering, perseverance, faith, hope, and most importantly, love. Love never fails. This is what he tells us. Love covers over a multitude of sin. This is also what he tells us. He tells us God is love. He tells us that you're his temple. This is where God lives. Therefore, as he says, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So God is within you and he will not fail. So whatever is going on, it genuinely matters not. Because he's conquered it. And so we just need to believe in faith that he has conquered it. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is because it's all so intimate based upon each and every individual, right? Whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're wrestling with, whatever you're fighting against, whatever your thorn is that's in your side, right? His grace is sufficient. He has not failed and he will not fail. He is faithful. And all you have to do is be reminded of his word. As I mentioned, love never fails. And God is love. He's not going to fail you. He will fulfill it. He will do it. I know it's been long. I know it's been hard. I know the suffering's been much. Hence long suffering. But in that, he's doing something that is for his glory. As he says, there's a story of a blind man. This blind man, the disciples are walking with Christ and they're like, Christ, he's blind since birth too. So disciples ask, Christ, who has sinned, this man or his parents? Implying that this hardship that this blind man has must be due to somebody. I mean, it makes sense logically in a certain aspect how we like to think, but then again, does not the Most High tell us, lean not to our own understanding, but acknowledge him in all our ways? So in a way, they're doing that. They kind of limited the question a little bit, but they are acknowledging the Messiah. And so Christ says, neither. You've started off your concept with limiting me, but at least you're asking me. So let me enlighten you. That it was neither his parents who sinned, nor him. But this is and was for my glory, for his glory, for the glory of God, that this situation has been arranged. And in that, Christ goes on to then heal the blind man. Then the blind man's so healed and so rejoiceful that he's like going around just giving glory and testimony that the Messiah healed him. And the Pharisees are looking for some reason to always twist it and conskew it and just mess it up, right? But the guy's like, I don't care what anybody has to say about anything, about literally any possibility of this being bad. I'm healed. Point blank, end of story. And the Messiah, this man has done it. Whether you call him Messiah or the Antichrist. So I mention this story because there's certain situations in your life that are going on that are perplexing. You're wondering why. And you just don't get it. But that's why he tells us on the flip side, he'll give us this peace that surpasses all understanding. That verse ain't in there for no reason. That ain't by mistake. God didn't mistakenly put that in there. He knows that you don't understand. And he knows that you're not going to understand in this exact moment of getting just revelation. And he's going to leave it like that for a certain aspect in a period of time in a season. Why? Because the fact that you don't understand forces you into a position of faith. You now have to walk in faith. You have no other option because you can't fathom a conclusion or a solution on either side, good or bad. You're just stuck in the lack of knowing. Which why, once again, he says, lean not to your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways. And when you do that, that's when he'll give you this peace that surpasses the knowing. Because imagine this. The same story, see, we're blessed because we get to see the conclusion of that story. But we don't get in the reality of it. In the moment, people didn't understand what was going on. Imagine Christ is like neither. It wasn't the blind man who sinned, or his parents on why he was born blind. It was neither. Not the parents or him. And then he just walks away and just leaves it at that. So you're like, you'd be perplexed. You're like, wait, what? It wasn't the man, it wasn't his parents, and you're saying it was for the glory of God, and then he just walks away. Sometimes we take out this time element of things because we get greatly comforted in this specific story because we see the why. Certain times when you're on your journey, you're not going to see the why. You're not going to know the why. And you are going to be perplexed. You're going to be grieved. You're going to be frustrated. And you're going to diligently seek and still not find. And when the storm starts shaking and rocking and trying to stir up your house into a belief that your house won't endure, you need to hold your ground. Remember who your ground is, that he's your rock and your firm foundation. And the only way you're winning this is with faith. Faith that your house is not built upon sand, because you've already acknowledged Christ is the one. He is the Messiah. He is God. He is my rock, my firm foundation. And all you're going to have to do is that and that alone. There will be no works. Yes, the works will come from the faith, but the key foundation is the faith. The faith in what he has done, in the grace of what he's done. It's faith and grace. It's faith in that, son, I've built this house for you to reside in. I've done this. I paid the price for that. I've conquered this. I will turn your weeping and your mourning into joy. As he says, those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. And you have to have faith in that. If you don't have faith in that, then that's where you actually lose. So when he doesn't give you your answer, even when you expected to have your answer and you still don't have your answer, what are you going to do? When you don't have your answer, when he even vowed or told you that you were going to have your answer, and it don't make sense, what are you going to do? And just to give you context, what I'm talking about when I'm saying this, I'm talking about Abraham and Isaac. You promised me more children than the stars, more children than the stars in the sky, then more children than the sand on the earth. Have you picked up a handful of sand? It's in one tiny little handful you can't count. And even then, God, you told me this, but yet you're contradicting yourself in what I think away, because you're now telling me to kill the very son that I was going to have the descendants from. And see, when you lean to your own understanding, it don't make sense. It doesn't. That's why he says, lean not to your own understanding. But you have to acknowledge him in all your ways. And that's why, once again, once you start to acknowledge him, that's when he's going to give you that peace that surpasses all understanding. They go hand in hand. He knows. He knows. Our little fickle, fragile minds. We're children. Glory to God, we're children. Because we're his children. And that's the reminder that you are a child of God. And in your identity, knowing that the kingdom is for you and for you to inherit because of what his son has done and died for you. It's that constant reminder. His grace is enough. The battle's been done. The battle is won. So with that, you're going to have to encourage yourself. And this is the mindset to have as you go on. So I just pray that you guys are encouraged to remember, even though nothing has changed, yet everything has changed when you decide in your mind that what he has done is enough. Continue to run the race and run to win. God bless. Take care.